Okay. I'm not going to overthink this, and I'm not going to overproduce this because I want to strike while the inspiration is there. So let's get started. This is Andre's Instant Mix right back at you. Side one, um, beginning with the fantastic live David Bowie cover of Waiting for the Man, which you'll notice he says waiting for the man throughout the song instead of my man. Look, I could talk about this shit forever. Tobacco, up track 2, amazing artist. Black Moth Super Rainbow is his original project. Tobacco is his side project. It sounds very similar. I'm not going to go into the details. Spend a week just listening to Tobacco and Black Moth Super Rainbow and do yourself that favor as soon as possible, starting out 2015. Next up, Arcade Fire with an actual video that you should watch because they make great videos. They get great directors. This is an Anton Cord, whatever the hell his name is. That new Arcade Fire album is absolutely one of the most extraordinary albums of 2014. I've never been a huge Arcade Fire fan. I am now. And this album did it for me. And you need to spend a good while listening to that album in its entirety. Amazing. Cat Power Free. Probably know this song. If not, wow. Cat Power, beautiful song. Next up is a very random pick of the sort of African psychedelic 70s stuff that there's a huge world of wealth out there to explore just in that genre, that crazy genre. Yeah, I mean, I could have thought more about selecting the ideal song there, but there's so much. I threw a dart at the wall, and that's the song that came up. Track 6, Magic Castles. There is a bit of a video going there. I'm not sure if it's an official video or a fan video, but it's kind of rad. Fits very well with the music. I only know this band because they did an EP or a single with Brian Jonestown Massacre. That's 2 tracks Brian Jonestown Massacre and 2 tracks this band Magic Castles. They're a psychedelic band from Minneapolis. Must be friends with Anton, etc. And for the longest time, I thought it was a Brian Jonestown Massacre song because I was playing that on Spotify, but it turns out it's actually another band called Magic Castles. Let's switch up the background music here. Sorry about that. Angel Olsen, track number 7. I discovered her in this most recent album of hers almost exactly a year ago, I think January or February of last year, and I immediately declared it my favorite new artist of the year. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Can't get enough of her. Sufjan Stevens, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Don't know what to pick of his. He's a very earnest, I don't know if you've gotten into him, but he's a very earnest Midwest. I found somewhere that described his music as Baroque pop. Found that an interesting title for the genre, if the shoe fits. Didn't know what to pick from him, but this was actually the song that kind of like led me into him, and I heard it actually by a street artist. I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful song. It was this young woman playing a guitar in the street, and she played the song Chicago. I only later realized that it was a Sufjan Stevens song, and it's a little bit cheesy, but that's the beauty of him, is he has this perfect, he's an extraordinary musician, a truly extraordinary lyricist, and there's this sort of Midwest Christian naivete that is actually quite charming about Sufjan. Had to throw a Black Sabbath song in there. You probably know this song. If you don't, this needs to be a regular part of your life. This song, Sweet Leaf. Take a big hit of weed before listening. Azealia Banks, wow, cutting edge artist, doing very interesting things, very interesting collaborations, and man, can she fucking rap. And yeah, fantastic. That's brand new. This is a song that it's probably the newest song in this whole collection, both sides. It is, got to be. And so it hasn't really stood the test of time with me, but I think it will. And you got to throw some stuff in there that you're not totally sure about because it's new to you, and it's pushing the envelope. That is Azealia Banks, and she has all kinds of interesting shit going on in the world right now, if that interests you. And she's hot. Had to put another Arcade Fire song in there, and when I went to look for this track, I found this live version that is very well recorded for a live. Look, yeah, I had to put this in as opposed to the standard recorded off the album version. And I made a note here. This song basically could have been a Sleater-Kinney song. It's very cool. You can see Sleater-Kinney influence in there, I think. Which, you know, outside of the obvious sort of girl bands out there, whatever, you don't necessarily hear Sleater-Kinney influence. This, I feel, could have been a Sleater-Kinney song. But it's a very, very good song. Next song, Bonobo. Kind of a random inclusion in there, but needed to add some, yeah, off the beaten path sort of urban R&B kind of vibe to give it a mix. And then finally, to wrap up side one is probably one of my all-time favorite song, or one of my favorite songs of 2013. I happen to be a huge Rihanna fan. She's not your typical pop star as far as I'm concerned. She's like the bad girl Beyonce. She's like the Beyonce whose life isn't perfect, even though I'm sure Beyonce's life isn't actually perfect. But the image that they portray of Beyonce and Jay-Z is this, like, you know, they are the Obama and Michelle of the Barack and Michelle of the music world. And whereas Rihanna has never pretended to have her shit together, and therefore her music has a much deeper sort of, God, what am I fucking playing for background music? God, it'd be better to have nothing than to have that shit in there. Sorry about that. Anyhow, I love this song, and I'm an unapologetic fan of Rihanna, and it started before this, but this cemented it for me, maybe this song. And yeah, it's just a fucking beautiful song, and I fucking love Rihanna. That's all there is to it. Alright, so that's side one, and again, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to send it out there and enjoy. I originally had this as one side, but I thought if I broke it up, it would help you be sure to listen to all 26 songs. And here we go, side one of, what the fuck did I call this? Andre's Instant Mix Right Back at You, side one. January 3rd, 2015.